He is the first democratically elected Latin American president to be tried for human rights violations in his own country. It is an example of growing judicial authority in a region where democratic rule has always been precarious and where past abuses by both elected leaders and dictators have generally gone without prosecution. Alberto Fujimori emerged suddenly from obscurity to win the 1990 presidential elections. Many ordinary Peruvians, fed up with years of political violence and economic stagnation, believed the son of Japanese immigrants would bring peace and prosperity. At first, the former agricultural engineer appeared to make good on their hopes, launching an all-out war against the Maoist-inspired Shining Path movement and capturing its shadowy leader, Abimael Guzman, while taming double-digit inflation, attracting foreign investment, and building roads and schools throughout the country. But in the process, Fujimori and his intelligence chief, Vladimiro Montesinos, rode roughshod over Peru's democratic institutions and legal procedures, quashing the independence of the legislature and the courts. During this crackdown, critics charge anyone who opposed or disapproved of the government's actions was considered suspect and at risk. Military death squads were activated. Their crimes formed the basis for Fujimori's trial, where he faces kidnapping and murder charges for allegedly ordering the deaths of 25 people killed by the death squads. Despite his authoritarian tendencies, most Peruvians, content with his restoration of order in the country, re-elected him by a landslide in 1995. But Fujimori's legacy was undone by scandal when videotapes appeared showing his close aide Montesinos bribing legislators and businessmen. Implicated in the scandal, the president fled into exile in Japan. 5 years later, he moved to Chile, which eventually extradited him to Peru to stand trial. Peruvians are still divided over the rule of their former president. These demonstrators, calling for his acquittal, revere him as a hero who saved the country from Shining Path terrorism. While these human rights campaigners revile him for abusing power and want to see him put in jail. It is a familiar, unhappy pattern in Latin America, where elected officials with impressive early accomplishments give way to authoritarianism and corruption. Unlike this pattern, if found guilty of these charges, the former strongman will be held accountable. Mariana Sanchez, Al Jazeera, Lima, Peru.